Welcome to a brand new season of For Your Home. Do you have a bucket list of things that you would like to do around your house? You know those little special personal things that you've always wanted? Well, I do. I have always wanted a backyard pool. And I figure now that I'm a baby boomer and kind of checking off that bucket list of things to do, the pool needs to be on the list. Join me this season as I show you what happens when I put a pool in my backyard. I have always loved swimming pools. I like to swim. I love the way they look in a yard. I love a party around them. There's just nothing that I don't love about a swimming pool. You know, I grew up in Texas, and boy, does it get hot there. You really need a pool in order to be able to enjoy the summers. But my parents were both high school teachers. There was no way our family budget was going to be able to accommodate a pool. So I had to wait until I grew up. In fact, from the time I moved from Michigan to the South before I got my first pool. Now, the house I bought already had a pool. It was an old pool, like 20 years old. The equipment was old. It was a lot of maintenance to keep it up, but I still loved it. When I moved from that house to the suburbs, I gave up the pool. It was a big mistake. I always regretted not having a swimming pool. So now that I've settled into my new dream home, there's just one thing I need to have, and that's that pool. So I decided, you know, it's so good for your health. I have a little bit of arthritis, so the best thing that I can do, according to my doctor, is to swim. So I would go ahead and take the plunge this year and put a pool in my backyard. It's going to be a lot of fun, and, well, come on along. I promise you can come to the plunge party. Now, I have a small urban lot. It's only 75 feet by 158 feet. So the house and the garage, with the space they take up, it doesn't leave me a lot of room. This is really all that I have to work with. So I have to be really careful about the design and the layout that I give this pool. Now, I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted the pool to look like. I do know that I want it to be enough that I can swim in, and I want a spa. But I also want it to be spectacular so that when people walk up here, it doesn't look like a pool was just shoved onto the lot, but that it was always designed that way from the very beginning. So I did just what you would do. I went online. I started going to all the different house sites and all the different Pinterest sites and looking at different ideas. If you want to see all the design ideas that I went through, you can go to the For Your Home page, and there's a link there that'll show you the ones that didn't make it as well as the ones that did make it. So once I got those ideas together, then I was ready to start looking for my contractor. Okay, so here's what I came up with. I realized, again, as I have many times before, I'm a really balanced person. Maybe not mentally, but architecturally, everything needs to line up for me. So I wanted to have a pool that would lead you right to my back door, right to the main arch here on the terrace. In order for that to happen, that meant that I needed a walkway across the pool. That's right, when you come to my house, you're going to walk straight across stepping stones that are going to go across the pool, and then you get to my house. Now, don't be afraid you're going to drown, because it's only going to be a foot deep on this side and a foot deep on that side of the walkway. You'll be perfectly safe. But what will happen is that that walkway will be perfectly balanced between the arches, and that was my big dilemma. If you look out on the ground, you'll see that there are white lines sprayed out. That's the outline of the pool. It's going to be 13 feet wide at its widest point and 28 feet long. Come on down to this area and let me show you what's going to go on the other end. This is where the spa is going to go. Part of my being balanced that I was talking about has to do with this master bedroom window. I wanted the spa to be centered directly on that window because the kind of spa I'm going to have put in, and I saw these online and I just fell in love with them, they're actually in the pool and they set up about 18 inches higher than the surface of the water in the pool. And when they're not in use, the water just flows over the side like an infinity pool. So out the master bedroom window, it's going to look like a water feature versus a spa. Well, to make that happen, of course, that means this tree's got to come down. And although I love it, it's a cinnamon white crepe myrtle tree and it's about 35 years old, it's really messy. It's constantly filling my gutters full of trash. So if something had to go on the lot, it was best that it would be this one. So this is going to get cut down, and then the spa will go into this footprint, and we'll have our pool that runs this long way across here, our little stepping stones across, and at the far end of the pool, we're going to have a small wall that comes up about 24 inches with a water feature that shoots water back into the pool. So when you're up on the terrace, it's really a nice look to see the water feature, hear the sound, and I think it's going to be just absolutely perfect. The only thing left for me to do is to find the team that can create the vision that I have for my backyard pool. And you know what? There's a lot of pool builders in this town, and I'm sure I can find just the right team. Finding a pool contractor is very similar to the same way you find a contractor for any major project around your house. Start off by asking your friends. Do you know somebody who puts in pools? Were you happy with their work? And talk with them first before you make any phone calls at all. Then once you've narrowed your list down to 4 or 5 companies that you want to talk with, make an appointment with them, go to their office, see what kind of office they have, see kind of samples that they show you, and just really see if there's a relationship there that you're going to be comfortable with having these people work with you to create something that it's not inexpensive and it isn't done overnight. So you want to make sure you like the rapport you have with them and the relationship. Then you want to go out and visit some of the jobs they actually did. Talk to the people that they did the work for, see what their referrals are like. Once you have that, start getting your prices together. And you may not necessarily want to go with the cheapest, you want to go with the best, always. I found a pool contracting company that I felt very comfortable with on all of those levels. Pools by Design has been working in this city for a long time, and I know several people that they've had pools put in by this group. Everybody seemed to be happy. So when you get out there and you start looking, make sure that you do your homework. That's your job. Now, talking about some other things that are your job, prep work. You may think it's all over and you just hand it off to them, and you can, but in my case, I wanted to do some of the prep work myself to save me some money and also get the landscaping revisions that I wanted. For example, we're going to have to move plants around, and so with the layout of where the pool is going to go, I found out that we needed a 5-foot distance all the way around it. We need 10 feet at the beginning of the lot for them to bring in their equipment to dig the hole and to put the cement in and all the other things they're going to do. So with that in mind, I was then ready to start doing my prep work. I came in, and one of the things I had to move was at a lace leaf maple right here. I transferred that to the back of the garden over here. Thought it was a really great place for it, and it'll live there permanently. Some other things I moved to the front of my yard, like some hydrangeas and some rose bushes. I still have a little work to do on this side. I have some irises and some hostas to move. And then I have 2 large projects that I'm going to get my landscaper to do, and that is to take down one of the large arborvitaes that's on the right-hand side of the sidewalk, as well as the one that's on the left. One of those is going to be recycled back and put back into its place it is now once the pool is finished. The other one's going to be permanently relocated to somewhere else in the yard. So it doesn't happen overnight. I've been working on it for 3 weekends of moving shrubs and flowers and things around. So be sure you put that into your schedule so that you'll be ready. Another thing that has to be done is your pool contractor will contact your utilities company, and they'll come out and mark all the lines for you, where your electric line is, where your cable line, your phone line. In our case, the gas line is on the other side of the house, so that's not an issue. So all of those things have to be done before they can start backing up that back hole and start digging that hole. It's hard to believe that my once beautiful backyard is now a big pile of red dirt, well, several piles of red dirt, and this big gray cement hole. You know what they always say, 2 steps backwards for 1 step forward? I just have to look at it as a little bit closer to my dream swimming pool. You know, the digging for the swimming pool went pretty fast. All it took was one guy, one backhoe, and a couple of days, and I had the beginnings of my pool. Once the hole was dug, then it was time for the plumbers to come in and do all of their piping that'll handle all the water exchanges from the equipment back and forth to the pool. There are 3 preferred ways to do an in-ground pool. There's shotcrete, there's concrete, and then there's gunite. Now, they all have their own advantages, and they're all really basically cement products. This pool happens to be a shotcrete pool. The benefits of using shotcrete are it's very strong, it's watertight, and it can be applied horizontally or vertically, and can even be shot upward to adhere and form to the underside of a ceiling. But before the shotcrete could be installed, steel rebar was carefully woven through the entire pool. Concrete is strong in compression, but weak in tension. Steel, on the other hand, is strong in tension, but weak in compression. Taking advantage of the strength of each material is what makes cement durable and strong. The shotcrete is mixed at the cement plant and brought to the job site in large cement trucks. Once the concrete arrives on the job site, it is poured into the shotcrete pump and sprayed under pressure into place in layers through a back and forth motion of the nozzle. The shotcrete application continues until the designed wall thickness is achieved. Workers immediately start to carve the details of the pool into the damp shotcrete, creating the steps, the benches, and any other features. The next step in this process was to let the electricians get in here so they could bring power to the pool. That's going to run all of our equipment and the lights for the pool. Now, it took a lot of power because this is a really high-tech pool, what with the spa and the water features. So it had to have its own power box installed. And as you can see, there's lots and lots of cable running around this pool. But when you got a high-tech pool, it takes a lot of power. One of the major concerns of homeowners is the cost of operating a pool. Today's new energy-efficient equipment is making a pool more economical to operate, according to Jason DeBruin from Hayward Pool Products. Jason, when I look at this, to me, this looks like there is a lot of equipment here. What makes it so much more efficient than it used to be?
Well, Vicki, Hayward is a family-owned business, but they're still the largest manufacturer of residential pool equipment in the world. So it's very important for them to be on the leading edge of technology, which includes energy efficiency and just having the coolest technology that you can have for your pool.
Well, you know, a lot of people kind of hesitate about putting a pool in because they want to be more energy conscious.
Absolutely.
And they want to keep their costs down. So what is the real heart of this equipment?
So if you're looking at the whole equipment pad, right here is the filter pump. And this is
one
actually
right here?
That one right there. And that's actually an EcoStar variable speed pump. And it's very important that it's variable speed because that's what makes it so energy efficient.
Okay, so what makes it variable speed? What does that do for me as a pool owner?
So the difference is normally you would have a single speed or a 2-speed pump on there and you're burning the same amount of energy all the time when the pump is running. You don't have a choice to lower the RPMs on it or the speed on it. You can't make any adjustments in your pool at all with the speed, and a lot of times you're just wasting energy because you do not need it at maximum speed.
So if I'm not running the spa or I'm not running the fountains coming out of the wall, I don't need all that power. Right?
Absolutely not.
And so this, as opposed to the old style, will change that.
It really customizes it to what your needs are in the pool. And if you only need half of the speed, because that's enough water flow for the feature that you're using, all you have to do is customize the speed on it, turn it down, and you save the energy while you're doing it.
Yeah, I love that feature because I hate to waste energy, and so, you know, so do my viewers. So that's a great feature. What's another really important part of this system?
Well, right out of the pump, it pumps it into the filter. And the filter is a very important part because, of course, you can't swim in a pool that has a lot of bacteria and dirt in there. So this is a cartridge filter, and it's actually very efficient as well because all you have to do is pump the water through the 2-inch plumbing, and there's no resistance hardly at all going back out through a 2-inch plumbing line as well. So not only are you cleaning to crystal clear water, but at the same time, there's such little resistance in there, you're saving money on energy again.
Okay, so that the fact that it is not resistant to that water coming in there is the key to making it not.
That's the key. We call it hydraulic efficiency, and it really comes down to that. The less resistance going through this entire equipment pad means that you save money on your energy bill.
Okay, that filter though, do I have to change it, clean it? What do I have to do with it?
You can actually save 2,500 gallons of water a year because you don't have to backwash the filter, which is part of cleaning the filter normally. This, all you have to do is take a cartridge out, you spray it down, you put it back in, and you're ready to go again for a long period of time.
Oh, great. And then eventually you might have to replace that filter?
Eventually, over years, the filters will wear down, especially if you have a lot of debris in your pool. It takes its toll on it, but you'd be surprised how long those cartridges last in there.
Okay, that's great. Okay, now we're in the Carolinas, and this is the hottest summer we've ever had. I'm not really interested right now in heating up that pool, but come November, or if I lived in Michigan, I'd want to do that. So tell me about the heater that's on this pool.
Absolutely. I'm going to start out with saying that it's also 2-inch plumbing going into that heater, which again makes it very hydraulically efficient. Number two,
what is on most other people's equipment than a 2-inch?
You have multiple options with older style heaters, especially if you have an existing equipment pad. There's a very good chance that you have 1.5-inch plumbing on there. And with 1.5-inch plumbing, there's only so much water you can pump through that pipe.
Bigger pipe, more water.
Bigger pipe, more water,
so
save energy.
Is it, you know, on the heater, it is the water size that's going in that makes it more energy efficient? Is there anything else about it that does?
Absolutely. Number one, it has the latest technology all around. It has the best metal in there for your heat exchanger, which is tolerant to any kind of corrosion that is normally associated with pool equipment.
Does that keep it from wearing out?
Yes,
quickly?
yes.
Okay.
It keeps it from wearing out, and it saves you over a 5-10 year period where heat exchangers are expensive. You're saving money again because it's going to last a lot longer.
Okay. Yeah, because when we think of energy efficiency and we think about efficiency in general, they're two different subjects. One is how sustainable is it, how much money is it going to cost, you know, save me over a period of time, as well as how much energy it's going to save me.
Yep.
Okay, so all of this looks like it's fabulous, and I can't wait for it to start churning that water out there and keeping it nice and crystal clear and warm. I hope you're going to come back, though, and show me how to operate all of this.
I can't wait to come back and show you.
Okay, thanks so much. This is really, I love this. This is great. We're finally at the tiling stage of the pool. This is Rick. He's the construction manager on the project. He's been overseeing everything. How's it going out there?
All right. How are you?
I'm doing good. Today's a lot cooler than we've been experiencing for the last couple of weeks.
Yes, it's great.
But putting in a pool, no rain, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, fantastic.
Okay. You know, every time I look at pools, I always see a band of tile around the top edge. Is that just for decorative, or does it serve a purpose?
No, it serves a purpose. It's the transition point between air and the plaster. The plaster needs to stay submerged underwater all the time. Otherwise, it'll get dry, it'll flake, it'll crack, it'll fall apart. So we have to have a transition point between the two.
And so the tile does that for you.
It serves that point.
Now the plaster is what makes the inside of the pool nice and smooth.
Yes.
And that comes in different colors as well, you were telling me?
Yes, the plaster is a marble-like mix. It's marble and granite dust mixed with hydraulic cement. And then depending on the color that the client chooses, we put dye into it. We mix it up. Basically, it's as watertight as your marble countertops in your house.
Oh, wow.
Just without that lasered finish.
Okay, great. Well, I can't wait to see how all the colors, you know, that I picked out go together. Now, when they came in and, you know, put the shotcrete into the pool, the surfaces, and you can still see that as you look back, but the surface is kind of rough. You know, they carved it all down. But then the guys for the last couple of days have been working on the spa over there, putting a coating on it. What is that called?
Browning it out. We use a different type of mortar mix. We brown everything out to get everything square, level, plumb. It helps to serve the purpose of making it easier to put the tile on there.
Okay.
Instead of it being time consuming and having to use a lot of different type of leveling tools, we level it out first and then commence to putting the tile in.
Well, I noticed when they were leveling, they had some pretty sophisticated laser levels out there.
Yes.
So has that kind of changed the industry a little bit?
Yes, definitely. Before we used to use water levels. It's just a pipe. You put it up at the level that you wanted at the beam, and you walk around with the pipe. It's a really old method. Now we use laser levels. We use sight transits like this one. It gets its pinpoint accuracy.
Well, I can't wait to see that, as I said, because it's going to be really pretty. And they just started working a few minutes ago, and I can see that smooth surface, they're working right around there really quick.
It makes it faster.
Okay, once they get all the tile on and they grout all the tile, what's the next step?
The next step would be putting the coping on. It's going to be the stone cap that goes on top of the wall of the pool. It goes all the way around. Depending on what the client chooses, it could be brick, it could be natural stone. I know you've chosen a porcelain mixed stone.
Yeah, I was at a show and I saw these beautiful, Italian and different tiles that are out there now in porcelain, and they're using them for so many different purposes. And so I'm excited to see that transition, because after you get from that coping, then you go into an area which we all know is where we put our lounge chairs, and that's called, what is that area called?
That'll be the decking.
The decking?
Yes.
Okay, so I wanted to be able to use the same material, so it was like a seamless, no distinction between it, and I couldn't really find it in stone. But a lot of people do the same for coping, the same for decking, and then they also mix up the materials as well, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It helps to keep everything uniform. You don't want a lot of different materials, because then it tends to get busy. People like it to just blend in and just everything be soft.
Just let that beautiful blue water be the whole thing that you say. Okay, so once you get the decking down, when do they come in and put that plaster in?
Typically, we like a couple of days after the decking is down, just to let everything settle. We don't want anybody walking on it. The grout and stone is still soft. So a couple of days after that, we'll plaster. The plaster usually is a one-day process. They get in here, it takes about 5 hours to lay it in there. By the time we're cleaning up and pulling out of here, we're already turning on a hose or getting the water trucks in and getting everything ready. Okay,
so once you put the water into the pool, how long before somebody can actually start swimming?
As soon as they want to get in the pool.
Really?
Typically, the water is going to be clean anyway, because it's coming off the house, or it's coming from a water truck, which is clean water. So basically, as soon as the water is up to the level of the tile, you can get in it.
Wow. Well, I can't wait, as you can imagine. And then, of course, we've got a huge landscaping project to complete after that process. So I'm going to let you get back to the guys, and I know that your supervision is critical on the job. You've been fun to work with.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank
Rick.
you. Yes, ma'am.
This is the tile that I selected to go around my pool. First of all, around that water line, this is the glass tile that I selected. It's this beautiful sky blue. And I love glass, the way it reflects, all the colors around it. So I think this was a really good choice. So that's going to go around the outside edge of the pool. And then for the spa. Now the spa is a little different than maybe what you have seen in the past. This spa is designed to look like an infinity pool. The water will come up, and when you're not using it as a spa, the water will just flow over the sides like you see in an infinity swimming pool, and it'll look like a water feature. Well, to really have the full effect of that, you need to go with a dark color around the spa for your tile. I didn't want to go black, so instead I went with this color of glass tile. Take a look at it. It's a dark brown, and it really matches well with the stucco that I have on the outside of my house and the dark bronze windows. Now, this is called khaki, and it has like a nice rich color, as I was saying, to it. So if I were to go into this tile and put white grout in on it, yuck, it would totally destroy the whole look. So at your tile store, you'll discover that grout comes in a lot of different colors. This particular manufacturer has 40 different colors, so you're bound to find something that works. And this little sample board, I love it. I was looking at different browns, and this particular brown is called truffle. It comes right out, these little sample bars. I can slide it right between the tile. Look how beautiful that matches, so that when it is finished, the whole thing will just have a look like it's all solid glass, and that's the effect that I'm going for. Now, when this is all finished and they grout it, it will all just disappear. It'll look like just one solid mass of glass, and that's the look that I'm after. Now, grout not only comes in different colors, but there's different kinds of grout as well. You want to make sure you're always getting the right grout for the project that you're doing. So what we wanted to use for a pool is different than what you might want to use for your shower in your house. We're using what's called a prism color consistent grout. That means that the color is consistently through it. It won't be affected by the sun or the chlorine or the water. So you want to make sure that you get the right color and you get the right type of grout. And then your pool will last for a really long time. I can't wait to see the tile guys get this up on the pool. Do you want to know more about the projects today or our guests? Visit us on the web. You're going to find great behind-the-scenes shots, streaming video, project ideas. We even have an e-newsletter with tips and ideas. It's foryourhome.com. Boy, this has been one of the hottest summers in a long time here in the Carolinas. It sure would be nice to be floating in a finished pool this afternoon, but I think I'm about 2 or 3 weeks away from that opportunity. Join me next time right here on For Your Home when you'll see the finishing touches we put on the pool and hopefully get my backyard back into great shape. I'll see you then.